In this video, my friend and follower, I'm going to explain two things to you. The first thing is the fourth lesson from the 6 lessons of the rich. And the second thing, I will teach you the real equation for getting money. There is an equation in the universe, my friend and follower. It is the only one through which you can get money. If you apply it, you get money. The entire universe runs on this equation. An explanation of the fourth lesson from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by the author Robert Kiyosaki, and an explanation of the real equation for getting money in this video. Prepare a coffee. A coffee, my friend and follower, a serious one. Or your favorite drink that you love, and let's enjoy. Welcome, my friend and follower, to the channel Kulasat Kutub, where there is coffee, music, and a book. With you, your brother, Nasser Al-Akil. The idea of the channel is that I read a book and give you its benefit. So if you would like to gain the benefit of reading without actually reading, subscribe to the channel. The topic we are going to talk about in this video, my friend and follower, is a very dangerous topic, of course. In the name of Allah, mashallah, tabaraka Allah. All the topics I talk about are very dangerous by the will of the Almighty. Anyway, that's not the point. But believe me, this topic is truly very dangerous. But before I start talking about the topic, there are people in the comments who say, "Give us the summary without introductions, without stories, without anything." All right, from my eyes. The fourth lesson tells you that the rich innovate to get money, and the real equation for getting money says, provide value or solve a problem, and you will get money. That's it. You've got the summary. Go ahead, my friend, close the video now, and let us stay here for the details, the stories, and enjoy. Robert Kiyosaki began this chapter with a story that I personally find quite strange. He says that one night he was sitting down writing one of his books, and he decided to take a break. So he went and turned on the television and watched a program that was talking about a man named Alexander Graham Bell. He says the program was discussing the struggles this man faced after registering the patent for the telephone. They said the pressure he was under was because there was huge demand for this invention, and he didn't have the capabilities through which he could produce more and sell more. So this Alexander decided to go speak with a company and present this invention to them, saying, "Please, I need your support for this invention." He says the company he approached was one of the largest companies at that time, and I believe it is still huge to this day, namely Western Union. My friend and follower, famous worldwide. He says the strange thing is that Western Union told him, "May God protect us and you. We don't want your invention and we don't want anything from you." Why? Because they clearly bet on the failure of this invention. And today, my friend and follower, I don't need to tell you what happened to Alexander Graham Bell's invention. Robert Kiyosaki says, "What was both funny and painful at the same time is that I changed the channel to a news station, and they were reporting the collapse of a company and the termination of all its employees. One of those managers had brought his family and children and was standing in front of the company building saying, 'Please, let me speak to the owners. I just want to reach the owners, and God willing, the problem will be solved. If you fire me, I have a family to feed. I just bought a house and now I'm going to lose it. I can't pay the installments.'" Robert says, "This is exactly what I was always warning about." Honestly, my friend and follower, after I read this beginning from Robert Kiyosaki, I was surprised because, to be honest, I didn't understand the message he wanted to deliver. I tried hard to connect the two stories because he mentioned them back to back immediately. And honestly, I struggled and didn't understand until later that he meant that creating an idea or a way to get money is millions of times better than being a manager in a prestigious company. One day, that company might collapse. And by the way, my friend and follower, I swear I personally know more than one person who lived for years working in institutions and companies. Suddenly, those companies and institutions declared bankruptcy and told them, "All right, goodbye." And not only that, what's even worse is that for months before that institution or company collapsed, they didn't even pay them their salaries. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, everything disappeared. All right, Robert, What is the real message you want to deliver? He tells you the fourth lesson is that the rich innovate to get money. Meaning, a rich person tries, from the circumstances around him and the resources available to him, even if they are very weak, to create a way to get money. Unlike the poor and the middle class, they always say that we cannot get money unless we already have money. How? He tells you, I can't change my life or increase my income unless I have capital for a project, either 200,000 or 300,000 or 500,000 or $1 million. Robert says they are waiting for opportunities to knock on their door. He says the rich never think like that. And here, my friend and follower, the huge difference between the rich mind and the poor mind becomes clear. And do you remember in the introduction when I told you that wealth is a mindset? The way you think is what makes you rich. Robert says the poor and the middle class wait for opportunities to pour down on them and knock on their door. I won't change my situation until money comes to me. I won't be able to develop my income until I reach a certain position or enter a certain project. Or, honestly, I have a great idea, an amazing idea. And you hear this all the time from most people. I have a powerful idea. If it succeeds, it will shake the world and make me a millionaire. But I need capital. And when you ask him how much capital he needs, he tells you, I need 200,000, 500,000, $1 million. He gives you a huge number, meaning he will not move until that amount comes to him. So there isn't another idea through which you can increase your income? No, there isn't. Only this idea, or the ideas he listed for you, all of them require money. My brother, fine. Let's assume for the sake of argument that your income truly will not increase except through this one idea that needs 1 million reals. How much have you worked toward that million? How have you developed yourself to reach it? How many steps do you take every day toward that million you want in order to change your life? Nothing. You're sitting on your phone, either playing, wasting time, or distracting yourself. So we go back to what Robert Kiyosaki said. He tells you that the poor and the middle class are like people sitting in a car on a road with 5, 6, or 10 traffic lights. And they will not move until all 10 lights turn green at the same time. And I swear to God, this analogy is the most accurate description of people who wait for opportunities to be perfectly prepared and to pour down on them. Do you want me to tell you something, my friend and follower? That will never happen. The million will not knock on your door. Big projects and assets will not come to you while you are sitting in your room. Forget it. You must pursue them daily. And ask yourself a question and answer it. As the Lord of the world says, but man is a witness against himself, even if he presents his excuses. You ask yourself, how many steps do you take each day toward your goal? How many hours a day do you spend moving toward your goal? You ask yourself, and you are the one who answers. All right, and the rich, Robert Kiyosaki? He tells you no. The rich innovate ways to get money. And many people, when they hear the word innovate, think it means you must come up with a completely new idea that has never existed in the universe. No, 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 absolutely not. Who told you that innovating an idea or a way to get money means that? It simply means that with the limited resources you already have, you find a way to make money from them. And today, we are in the 21st century. My friend and follower, you have a phone. You have internet. You can make money while sitting in your room. You just need to work hard on this phone and the internet, and you will make money. There are people who create accounts where they post photos and make money. There are people who create accounts where they post news and make money. There are people who create accounts where they compile trending clips from around the world and make money. There are people who post gaming clips, and people who post movies and songs, and people who post football clips, and people who post drawing videos, and the list goes on. Accounts that exist with over 500,000 followers, over 1 million, even 2 million, and they make money. May God provide for them, increase them, and grant them success. They worked hard, and they achieved the result of that hard work. So tell me, what resources do they have? A phone and internet. The 21st century. The 21st century. The 21st century. While Robert Kiyosaki was speaking about this lesson, he said, My brother, today the rules have changed. The 21st century is different. He told you that long ago, 200 or 300 years ago, the rich were the ones who owned land and farms. If you had agricultural land, then you were wealthy. You brought farmers to work for you, sold the crops of that farm, and made money. And he said that in the last 100 years, the situation changed again. Wealth became connected to the Industrial Revolution. The one who owned factories was the rich one. And indeed, that is what happened in the last 100 years: wars and factories. But he told you that in the 21st century, the situation has changed again. Today, wealth belongs to the one who knows how to use the technological revolution, the one who knows how to use the internet, the one who knows how to use the phone, the one who knows how to use the computer and the laptop. He told you that wealth now exists with the people who innovate ideas and know how to control information. The age of data and information. The electronic age, my friend and follower. And he said it clearly at that time. He said, I bet that in the coming period, every year we will see people innovating very beautiful ideas like Bill Gates and others. And indeed, that is exactly what is happening. Mashallah, tabarakallah. Every few months, we discover a new application that provides us with great services. It gives us value or solves a problem. And this is the equation for getting money that I will explain to you shortly. He tells you that today you are in the electronic age. Today, you don't need to be a farmer who struggles, works hard, and saves money in order to buy land, farm it, sell the crops, and become rich. Or to exhaust yourself working every day in a factory so you can save money, start your own factory, sell products, and make money. He tells you the situation has changed today. Today it is about data, about information, an electronic age. You have a phone, you have internet. You can go to America, Italy, China, Japan, bring things from them, offer them where you are, and make money from them. I swear to God, this speech is real. But our problem, my friend and follower, is that most of us come from the 20th century, meaning we are at the beginning of the 21st century, and many of us still do not know how to control data or how to use it properly. This is our weak side, and at the same time, it is the powerful opportunity. It is the great opportunity. The great opportunity is always at the beginning. The one who knows today how to deal with the electronic age and knows how to use data and information is the one who will become rich in the near future. And that is exactly what is happening. Anyway, let me tell you this story with which Robert Kiyosaki ends this lesson. He says that in the early 1990s, the economy of the city of Phoenix in the state of Arizona was extremely terrible. The economy was in a very strong stagnation. He says, and I am one of the people who like to take advantage of crises. He says, the rich, during crises, seize opportunities. He says, and I am one of the people who love real estate. But he says, I don't go looking for property with brokers and real estate dealers. No. I look for it in the courts and bankruptcy cases. My brother, crazy.
He says, that's where I find the real opportunities. He says, anyway, I actually found someone who was extremely desperate to sell his house, stuck, as we say in our slang. He says, so I told him, how much do you need for the house? He said, my good man, I'm in debt and I just want to sell the house. That's it. He says, so I told him, okay, but how much do you need for it? He said, if it brings $20,000, that would be more than enough. The most important thing is that I sell it, pay off my debts, and get rid of my case. He says, so I told him, fine. And I knew that this house was worth around $75,000. He says, I borrowed $2,000 from one of my friends for 3 months. I told him I would return it to him as $2,200. He says, I gave it to the lawyer who was handling the case, and I placed an ad in the newspapers stating that there was a house worth $75,000 that we were going to sell for $60,000, a $15,000 difference. And not only that, with no down payment. He says, you wouldn't believe the massive number of calls we received regarding that ad. So many people wanted to seize this opportunity. A house worth $75,000 being sold for $60,000. Beautiful. He says, and indeed, someone came and we made an agreement. I took the $60,000 from him and went to the indebted homeowner and said, here are the $20,000 you asked for. Give me the house. He says, I took the house and gave it to the one who gave me $60,000. That way, I put $40,000 in my pocket from nothing. He says, so what happened was that the man who had the debt and the case was satisfied. I was certainly satisfied. And even my friend who lent me the $2,000 was satisfied. He says, this is a simple example of the innovation I am talking about. You can make money from nothing. And so I don't overwhelm you with examples, my friend and follower. I have mentioned many examples in previous videos before this. You can go back to them on Instagram or on YouTube. People make money from nothing without capital. Allow me, my friend and follower, leave a simple comment just to break the routine. Do you remember that farming game we all got into on our phones back in the day? I think it was called Heyday. Everyone, my friend and follower, becomes creative in that farm. Planting, harvesting, selling, building a port, building factories, building a world, building a city. And they have money and they're happy. And you notice that most people, mashallah, are very good at trading. So why don't you apply this buying, selling, and effort to real life? Here comes the painful answer. The element of time, my friend and follower, is what prevents people from applying what they do in the farming game to real life. In the farming game, 5 minutes pass and time moves quickly. The one playing the game doesn't feel the long passage of time, nor does he feel the fatigue or effort. That's why it's very easy for him to practice trade in a game application on his phone. But in real life, he knows that a day will pass like a year, and the effort will be 10 times harder. He needs to work harder and be patient for a long period of time to reach wealth. And that does not satisfy him at all. That's why you find many people looking for comfort, looking for the phone, Instagram, Netflix, anime, fun. Hard work? Leave that for the rich. And I remember someone commented on the introduction video and said, if what you're saying is true, then everyone would apply it and become rich. No, my friend. You misunderstand the world. Let me tell you, only a few will apply this speech, and only a few will become rich. Because wealth requires effort, and it requires time. And most people are not willing to work hard, nor are they willing to be patient for a long time. That's why I like to confirm to you that this speech, if applied, is real, and whoever applies it will become rich. But those who apply it are few, not more than 10% of the world. Go read the biographies available in bookstores, biographies about wealthy people and how they became rich. Some of them you already know their stories. Mashallah, you know that certain merchant, you know he used to sell ashes. Mashallah, you know that certain wealthy man, you know he used to sell al-fasam.
For those who don't know, al-fasam is the seed inside the date. And so on and so on. We all have these stories memorized. We know them. And we know that wealth requires effort, and it requires time. So whoever is not willing to work hard for a long period, and is not willing to give time, I tell him, you will never become rich, my friend. Alright, now let's talk about the real equation for getting money. My friend and follower, when we say equation, we are talking about mathematics. I know you hate math, but in this equation, there is nothing from mathematics except the equals sign. There is no plus, no minus, no square root, no cosine, no sine, no tangent, no cotangent, nothing. Just an equal sign. And this equation I took from a video on YouTube made by a very young and handsome guy, and his videos are also very beautiful. I think he's British or American. Honestly, I don't know. His accent confused me. Anyway, I will put the link to the video in the description. He is the one who talked about the real equation for getting money. Of course, he told you that to get money there are two equations, meaning something you do equals money. So what is the thing before the equal sign, the thing you do? That's what I'm going to tell you. The first equation, I will rephrase it a little from my own point of view. To get money, you must provide value. Very simply, provide value, get money. And the term I always use for the word value is service. Provide a service,
get money. How? Very simply. When you go to a restaurant and it sells you food, the restaurant provided you with value and took money in exchange for that value. You went to a clothing store and bought a t-shirt. The store or the brand provided you with value, and in exchange for that value, you gave it money. This is the first part of the equation. Any value you provide, you will receive money in return. That's why I was always warning you. If you are going to create content on social media, provide value. Let the viewer gain value. Give him information, a skill, or an explanation. These things are considered value for the follower. In exchange for this value that you give him, or this explanation that you provide on social media, you will receive money. You want to offer a course in real life? That means you are providing value. And in exchange for that value, you take money. And the examples, my friend and follower, are countless. You can go on and on. So what did the guy say? He said this is the first part, or the first equation for getting money. But he said the equation of wealth is slightly different. And the rich are the only ones who understood the real equation of wealth. And truly, 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 this equation is amazing. He told you that the rich provide value. Yes, in many cases they use the first equation, provide value, get money. That is the first equation. But the second equation is different. Solve a problem, and you don't get just money. You get billions of money. Billions, my friend and follower, not millions, billions. And he started giving examples of the billionaires who exist today. He told you that most of them solved problems and received billions of dollars in return for solving those problems. So now we have two equations. Provide value arrow, get money. Solve a problem arrow, get billions of money. He told you that Amazon solved a problem, and in return for solving that problem, the owner of Amazon became one of the richest of the rich in the world today. What problem did Amazon solve? He told you that it saved people time and effort. Instead of going out to search through markets, looking for items, wasting time and effort to find a specific product, it brought the product to them on a website and created an e-commerce platform for them. And today, Amazon is the largest e-commerce platform. It saved people time. Now you can go in, search for a product in 5 minutes, compare it at different prices in 5 minutes, order it, and it arrives at your doorstep. It solved a problem, and a very big problem. He tells you that the size of the problem you solve determines the amount of money you receive. The bigger the problem, the bigger the money. Of course, the problems Amazon solved were not just about bringing stores onto a website. No. Amazon made it possible for you, even without having a physical store, to sell products.
Today, you can bring products, keep them in your room, list them on Amazon, and sell. No shop rent, no employees, no cashier, no cash handling, nothing. And even more than that, you can store your inventory with Amazon, and Amazon will package the product and deliver it to the customer while you do nothing. Amazon did something even stronger than that. There's a service on Amazon for selling t-shirts. All you have to do is design a t-shirt in Photoshop or in any simple program. Then you upload that design to Amazon and list it at a certain price. Someone sees the design, likes it, and orders the t-shirt from Amazon. Amazon then takes that design, turns it into a real t-shirt, packages it, sends it to the customer, and sells it. They give you 25% of the t-shirt's price and take 75%. What happened? You earned 25% without paying a single real for a clothing factory, workers, delivery, a store, or anything. That's why today Jeff Bezos is among the richest of the rich. That's why Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, and maybe the New York Times too, if I'm not mistaken. Terrifying, terrifying, terrifying. Terrifying, my friend and follower. Terrifying. There are many other services besides these, and there are also many services I personally don't even know about. Amazon is terrifying. And by the way, my friend and follower, just for your information, Amazon is not allowed to operate freely in many countries. Many countries prevent Amazon from opening there. Do you know why? Because if Amazon opens, after 5, 10, or 15 years, many of the local stores in the market will close. Amazon wipes them out. And that is exactly what has happened in America. And honestly, my friend and follower, it's not just Amazon as the main and biggest reason. E-commerce in general is causing many physical stores to shut down. We are in the electronic age. You must understand this. Facebook, for example, the one who innovated the idea of Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg solved a very huge problem, which is the problem of social communication. Facebook was approximately the first social media platform and remains the largest social media platform to this day. People today can easily know each other's news. I know what you had for lunch today. You know what I had for dinner tonight. We know what so-and-so drank, when so-and-so bought certain clothes, when someone got a job, when someone got married, when someone got engaged, and so on. And today Mark Zuckerberg is around 39 or 45 years old, and his wealth is estimated at more than $100 billion, over $100,000 million. Solve a problem, get billions of money. Same story. By the way, once my friend Azam told me that the iPhone as a device by itself is worth nothing at all. He told me, imagine that this iPhone you have is turned off and doesn't work. Does it have value? I said, no, absolutely, completely worthless. It has no benefit. He said, exactly. The power of the iPhone is not in the device itself, not in the hardware. The power of the iPhone is in the iOS operating system, the system itself, the icons, the usability, the applications. That is Apple's strength, the iOS operating system. It solved a problem. Allahu Akbar. I am one of those people, my friend and follower, who is addicted to YouTube. About 15 or 20, maybe even 25% of my life is YouTube. I sleep on YouTube and wake up on YouTube. Before iOS, it was impossible for me to move around without a laptop. Impossible, my friend and follower. I would not sleep unless the laptop was on YouTube, and I would wake up with the laptop on YouTube. That was it. So when iOS came, it freed me from the laptop. The laptop became inside my phone. And I know I might shock you, my friend and follower, but I swear I only bought the iPhone for YouTube. Imagine, just for YouTube, I bought a phone that at that time cost $500. I paid $500 to solve a problem I had, moving around with a laptop and all those bags.
And since that day, I no longer use YouTube except on my phone. So Steve Jobs solved a problem. And in return for that problem, today Apple is the largest technology company in the world. A terrifying company. Terrifying. So this is the real equation of wealth. You want money? Provide value. Provide value and you get money. But solve a problem and you get billions of money. And the guy in his video says, if you want to solve a problem, look for the problems people talk about everywhere. He says, in gatherings, at home, in cafes, when you go out to lounges or chalets, people talk about problems. There are many problems people complain about. Solve these problems and you will get billions of dollars. You might need capital to solve a problem, and you might not need capital. You might just need to innovate the idea and look for a funder to give you the capital. Today, capital is no longer the problem, my friend and follower. With one tweet on Twitter, if it goes viral, millions of investors could come to you. This is the electronic age. So in short, if you want to get money, either provide value or solve a problem. Don't say my resources are limited. Don't say my circumstances are difficult. Believe me, you have the ability that can make you create your opportunity from the limited circumstances you have right now. Believe me, this speech is real. Think. Just think properly, and you will find the way or the idea through which you can change your situation. And I repeat again, in the 21st century, you have a phone. You have internet. You can make money while sitting in your room. You need to work hard, and you need time. Don't forget the farming principle. No one harvests crops overnight. No one becomes rich overnight. You must work hard, and you must be patient. And this is the fourth lesson, my friend and follower. The rich innovate ways to get money. And Robert Kiyosaki tells you that the beautiful thing about innovation is that it does not require capital. All you need is to think correctly and see what value you can provide or what problem you can solve. And welcome, you can make money. So if you benefited, my friend and follower, from this value, you can share it with your family, your friends, or anyone you think might benefit from it. And if you liked this effort, I would be grateful and appreciative if you give it a like. And as I told you, if you want to gain the benefit of reading without actually reading, you can subscribe to the channel. Here ends today's episode, my friend and follower. Until I meet you next week, God willing, with a more beautiful and better dose. Thank you for your kind listening, and thank you for your time, which is priceless. Peace be upon you.